everybody, it's Ryan here with Ray's Latest, and today I got my hands on the stadium memorandum that was voted on last Tuesday to kind of go into effect with the Hillsborough Community College campus. So I kind of just going through this. It's a 113-acre Dale Mabry campus. They kind of try to develop into three parts: the Hillsborough College campus, the baseball stadium, and like a large mixed-use development with the shops and things of that nature in it. It says in the deal, Hillsborough College would retain ownership of the land and lease it to the Rays, but if public funding is used, the stadium itself would be conveyed to Hillsborough County. So the county will then own it if public funding is used. DeSantis has come out and said that public funding will not be an option for direct use, direct build of the stadium. So that's kind of going to be an interesting development to see kind of how they go about getting funding, if it's going to be fully private equity, public funding, if they could get that kind of going with DeSantis and the county itself. So we're going to see how that goes with that. It says Hillsborough College would lease the property, excluding its campus area, to the Rays in a long-term lease not less than 99 years. If public funding contributes to the stadium, ownership of the stadium will be transferred to the county. The college will be kind of retained in that southwest corner, that bottom left corner of the site fronting Lewis Avenue. For the new campus, the college will be responsible for its construction and upkeep. The Rays would have approval, though, over designs and aesthetic alignment of the college district, while the broader master plan would be subject to Hillsborough College's approval, where it affects college operations. So that's something that's a little interesting. Just kind of a little snippet on what could the Rays possibly do to kind of change the look, just the visual look of what the campus looks like, and if they're going to kind of pertain that to colors and just signs and things of that nature that are up and around the campus area, and if that's going to be kind of something more like the buildings maybe kind of looking like what the stadium looks like, or if the painting is raised colors or things like that. That's kind of interesting to me, kind of to see what the aesthetic look the Rays could possibly want to change and kind of what they want to have on the campus, the college campus. And in my opinion, I don't really know what it is, a lot of it, like what the Rays would want to change with the college campus, and just look in signs of like what it would look like. It's interesting to me that they would kind of give them approval to just be like, hey, you can do all aesthetic looks changes that you want. It's interesting. I think it's cool because you can kind of make the college kind of blend into the stadium and the surrounding area a lot better, which I kind of think is the end goal there. They don't want it to be an eyesore. They don't want it to be like, oh, well, there's the college part and there's the stadium. They kind of want everything to just blend together. So you're kind of just like, you waltz around the whole thing and you're like, okay, like it's all intertwined together. I think that's going to be kind of the main factor in that. And another thing, any plans to demolish the college's current buildings must be done in a way that minimizes interference with the college's operations. The agreement states that the Rays would build temporary facilities for the college during the construction phase. So this pretty much is just, if you have to tear down a building to build your stadium, you have to build something else that will not interfere with the college's everyday operations and students and things of that nature. So that's cool. Specific details of the mixed-use development were not included, but it may include hotels, restaurants, retail space, sports and health buildings, multifamily buildings, commercial buildings, and parking. And the Rays will have exclusive control over this portion of the redevelopment. So that's kind of what we all thought. The Rays are going to control everything but the college for the most part. And I think that the biggest question mark on that list is going to be parking for such an area where you have day games at 1 o'clock. You have students on campus. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they intertwine the fact that there's going to be 20,000 people, hopefully, on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock with the 1,000 kids on campus at the time. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they can deal with parking. And most colleges have parking passes, so I'm assuming that the college part's going to have its own separate parking spaces, and then the stadium's going to have its own. But there's only so much land there that it's going to be interesting to see how they are able to work that out logistically and kind of get enough parking space numbers for everybody to be there. The site is currently limited to junior college use due to a state deed restriction. In the agreement, Hillsborough College would support efforts to remove and amend this restriction. The Rays must secure all zoning changes, permits, financing, incentives, and MLB approval. So it's pretty much just the site is, for right now, it's only supposed to be used for junior college stuff. The Rays are kind of having to go out and pretty much get that taken care of, but the college is going to help them. That's pretty much what that means. Details such as financing structure, exact stadium location and size, final lease terms, and a construction timeline are not final, obviously, and the Rays have an exclusivity for 180 days to kind of figure out what's going to go on. And the Tampa Sports Authority and the New York Yankees will not be renewed or modified. The parking agreements with them will not be removed or modified without approval from the Rays during that time. So they still keep all parking approvals and things of that nature in that area. So it's going to be interesting to see. It says neither Hillsborough County Commissioner Ken Hagan or a Rays representative was immediately available for comments Tuesday based on that, but we have since seen that the Rays CEO kind of came out in a podcast interview recently that it's this spot or it's Orlando, which I have been seeing some things from people in Orlando who are also saying we're perfectly okay with being used as a pawn in this whole deal because we support a stadium in Tampa in Orlando just as much as everybody else in the area does. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how they go about dealing with all these certain things and kind of how logistically everything's going to work. I think that at the end of the day, I don't necessarily see there being a major problem in being able to get this done because I truly don't think that they want to leave Tampa Bay, and I think that they want to stay in the area. But with the new ownership kind of coming out and saying that they're like, yeah, we'll go to Orlando if you don't let us build a stadium here. It's a little concerning from just a fan standpoint of where they stand and where their commitment is. They say they're committed to keeping in Tampa Bay, which I think they are. I think they're really trying their best. But I think I think they're particularly trying to rush the process a little too much if it were to not get done. And I get it. You can't keep just re-signing leases at the Trop over and over and over again and expecting change. It's just not going to happen. But I think that using the Orlando pawn as kind of a pressure point for the Tampa Bay area to get it done is interesting. And I'm kind of curious to see how they go about the rest of that. But you guys let me know what you guys think about the whole memorandum and any other thoughts or comments you have about anything Rays related. And you guys have a great one.